Aries, sun, moon, and rising. You have Uranus transiting through your second house. So, what does this mean for you? What type of dynamic electric changes are you to expect during this transit? Well, the second house has to do with your income that you earn. So, the money that you bring in from the work that you do is changing. The way that you see your work, the value of your work, and what it is that you are doing is all coming through and being electrified with the lightning of Uranus. So you may have found yourself, because Taurus is this big stubborn energy that is about doing the traditional thing. So you may have found that you were doing what it is, let's say you were working as a construction worker, and you've done that, but you didn't like the job. You know you have other skills and other desires and things that you want to do, but it pays the bills. It's what you've always done. Now that Uranus is here, you find you can no longer do it because you're not being honest with yourself. Uranus requires honesty and truth. It demands honesty and truth. So you get honest with yourself and say, I can't do it anymore. And you say, I've always wanted to be a fitness professional. I was watching a video yesterday of a man who is the Chinese king of pole dance. This is an example of this sudden change. He was a construction worker. That's probably where that thought came to me from. He was a construction worker, and he said he was there and he saw a pole, and he said he thought to himself, I wonder if I could climb that pole. And he did, and he taught himself to pole dance. And now he is a well-paid, he trains other men who are interested in pole dancing. We're talking about Uranus. Uranus is a rebel who does things that other people would not do. Uranus is going to do it in a way other people would not do it. He does things that are not socially acceptable. As we know, Uranus he came around during the rebellion, the French Rebellion. He ushered it in. And so there is this rebelliousness for you coming in this area of how you make your income, how you earn your income, and how your self-esteem is strengthened. So perhaps you got your self-esteem from people saying, oh my God, Sarah, random name, Sarah is so stable. She just goes to this, job every day, day in. She's been on the same job for 18 years. Uranus comes through, but that lifted your esteem. You were proud of the fact that you were known as this person who went to the same job every day. So your self-esteem was boosted in that way. But Uranus comes through and says it's got to be boosted in another way, because you knew within intuitively that doing that job didn't make you happy. Earning money in that way didn't make you happy. And again, you decide maybe you want to be, like I said, a fitness professional. You want to teach classes on yoga. Aries rising, Aries people have a lot of energy, are known for, hiking, climbing the rocks and doing things physically. And perhaps, your self-esteem hasn't even been the best, depending on what planets you have in the second house. Your self-esteem may not have been boosted. But Uranus comes through and you get the truth. You get the truth of who you are. You get the truth of your actual ability to earn money. It's highlighted for you a particular gift that you have, depending on where Venus is in your chart. Light comes and you get some understanding. Uranus is tied to brilliance, so you just get this brilliant understanding of a gift that you have to sow. You may have been sowing all the time. You have Leo on your fifth house cusp, so you may be a person who sews beautiful blankets, or you may make beautiful jewelry. I talked to someone today and they said that they were creating their own jewelry. And so you realize you can put this on Instagram and make money. And it's something that you never realized that you could do before, because you knew you could make the jewelry, you knew you could make the blankets, you knew they were beautiful, but you could not conceive of how to really sell them and make enough income for yourself. And then you realize, I can sell this on Instagram. I can sell this on Facebook. I can just really push this out, and there is a market for it because my work, what I have, is really beautiful. So these are some examples of the second house and what it is that you could see coming in. With Uranus there could be a layoff, suddenly. You weren't expecting it because Taurus is stable. Taurus, this is what we do. This company has been here 30 years strong, solid, Fortune 500 company, not going anywhere. And all of a sudden, it does. All of a sudden, the company closes. And so now people are having to find what it is next that they're going to do. Just like what we have going on right now with the pandemic. People, jobs that they knew that they would have, now they've come to an end. Money is coming from this way. But with Taurus wants, that area wants independence. It wants to be able to establish a plan for itself and methodically work it out. So in this area, that is the area for you, Aries rising. Now, as this transit continues on, is also affecting the 8th house of other people's income and resources that you have coming in, because it's on the same axis. It's on the same axis. Second house, 8th house. So when one house is affected, the other house on the other end is affected too. They're together. So there may be changes coming in to the resources. It's very similar to, again, what's happening right now. So the job may have ended, but then the government, resources 8th house, has said, we'll give you an SBA loan. That's 8th house. So there's certain changes, certain money coming in from resources of other people, of a government agency, 8th house. You may have been a person who you were not receiving child support. Uranus comes through in your second house. It's been an opposition to the 8th, and now you're receiving child support to help you ride the wave of the change until you get your income established in the new way, which is more honest and more true to who you are. In addition to that, when it comes to the sun and the transits coming through to Leo in your 5th house and or Aquarius in your 11th house, those will be challenging energies for you, Aries. You will find that questions are going to come up related to your self-esteem and self-worth as it relates to your children, 5th house. The sun, the moon, Venus there. When the transit comes, Leo season, when it comes through, it's going to trigger through a frustrating aspect, a square, Uranus in your 2nd house. And you will be asking yourself about your relationship with your children and saying, am I giving too much? Am I spoiling them too much? Am I hindering them from standing on their own 2 feet. These are the type of questions that will come up. I'm sorry, my eye is running. These are the type of questions that could come up with your children. Am I overgiving to them? Are they respecting me? Are they treating me in a way that strengthens my self-esteem and my self-worth, my children? Or are they treating me in a disrespectful manner that I need to check, that I need to correct? So Uranus will highlight all of these things through the Leo season. We're still in the Leo season right now. So you may have experienced some of these things. If you don't have children, then you may be an entrepreneur. And during this Leo season, you'll find questions about your business and ways for you to earn more income. Am I making enough money? Am I performing? Am I doing what it is that I love, my desire, big house, things I desire? Am I earning enough? What can I do more? That's what the square brings. The frustration, it brings you light, it brings understanding that what it is not working. So you are forced to make a change. You make the change and say, okay, I need to step it up. I need to step up my performance. My performance needs to be better. I need to increase my skill level. I need to do more, perform better, so that I can achieve the self-esteem, the self-worth, and the money that it is that I want. As we know, your money that you earn is tied to your self-esteem and self-worth. So Uranus coming through is causing a shakeup to cause you to look at what it is that you feel you are worth. So during this Leo season, it's going to bring challenges in that area by way of a square to make you look at what you can do better independently as an entrepreneur. Those hobbies that you are working on, anything that you are doing that you love. If you are dating someone, this is 5th house. If you are dating someone, when those planets come through during Leo season, you know, that person will be highlighted. How do they make me feel? How I'm dating Shaniqua. Square comes when Venus comes through Leo. And now here are the questions. You know, I'm dating them, but they're, you know, they don't have a job, or they don't have income, or their self-esteem is so low until they don't have any love to really give me. These things are highlighted. You know, you see the truth of how this person is actually adding to you that you are dating, or how they are taking away from you. These things are highlighted. The square might break up the relationship. This is somebody that you could just be dating, you know. It could break it up. The square to Uranus in the 2nd house, you know, these issues of self-esteem and income, and, you know, you may find that you are always having to pay for dinner. You are always having to fly out to see them or something like that. The square could break it up, could break up the relationship. Okay, then in the 11th house during the Aquarius season, now I'm talking about this because we have 5 or 6 more years of this transit. So I'm giving you the time frames for you to pay attention to, because the squares are going to be there, which are these really challenging aspects. So during the Aquarius season, when those planets come through Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, it's going to make a square to Uranus in your 2nd house. So this is going to have to do with groups of people and friends that you could be associated with. And the question is, how are these friends affecting my self-esteem and my self-worth? Or do I feel loved with them? Do I feel supported by this group that I'm a part of? I belong to this church, but I go to this church and I feel like my gifts are not being supported. I feel like I have a gift to really sing and to really lead and to really direct the choir, but they're not giving me the opportunity to do it, and it's affecting my self-esteem. So Uranus comes through with the square, and boom, you change and you say, you know, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm going to another church. You could be a part of a sorority and you feel that, you know, you should move up in the ranks, but they don't see your gifts. They don't see how you could really lead. And so you make a decision. I can't stay here anymore. I gotta go. This is something that could happen. Uranus making a square to the 11th house planets. Depending on what it is, depending on what the transiting planet is, you could find that the work that you've been doing, you thought that you were going to receive an award. You thought you were going to receive a promotion, 11th house, awards and accolades for the work that you've done. Only to find out that they promoted Jim instead of Tamika, you know, for whatever reason that might be. And then you say, you know, what am I doing here at this company? You know, they don't acknowledge me. They're not going to celebrate me. They're not going to give me my just rewards for the work and the talent that I have, you know. And when that is the case, you know, some changes may happen. You may leave the company. You may just do something completely different. So that is something that could happen during the Aquarius season, when the planets are in Aquarius. Then when the planets are in Scorpio, that is going to highlight an opposition with Uranus. So we're talking about other people's money. Again, we're talking about those planets that are coming through the sign of Scorpio during the Scorpio season. Here's an opposition to Uranus. So it's going to be affecting your money, your income, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and it's going to be coming from other people and other people's money, other people's resources. Perhaps you were supposed to get an inheritance, or and then the opposition comes, and the opposition from the sun to Uranus comes, and there is a shock that you didn't receive the inheritance because somebody in the family is blocking it. They don't want you to have it. You know, something like that. Some shocking information comes and you are thrown off. I can't believe that this person would stand against me. Opposition. So those are some things that you can look for. Okay, when the sun moves into the earth signs, it's going to support Uranus. It's going to those areas that are earth areas. We're talking about the Virgo house, which is your 6th house, and we're talking about the Capricorn house, which is the 10th house. Then you will find that Uranus, the changes that Uranus is bringing in for your income is supported by your daily activities. When the sun and the moon and Mercury come into Virgo season, when it's Virgo season, then Uranus, the changes that will happen will be supported for you to improve your health, 6th house, to improve your daily work, co-workers that you work with. If you own a business, then surprisingly, you will get really good people to work for you, to come in and be supportive of you. You will be able to get some support as far as maybe some supplements that you are taking. Surprisingly, you hear about, you know, this great supplement, this great tea you can take, and it helps you with your health. And, you know, if Uranus is making a trine in Virgo to Mercury or to the sun, you know, your supervisor, sun is in Virgo, your supervisor can be really supportive There's a sudden change that comes in, and you could get the promotion, or you could get a pay increase, you know. So Uranus during the Earth season, Virgo and Capricorn, your reputation, the Sun and the Moon, Mercury and Venus are in Capricorn. Uranus is making a trine to your 10th house of your career. So this is a time where you are going through a transformation that is really positive as it relates to your career, or if you have a manager that is over you, there is a positive change that could be coming in for you. Right now, of course, we have Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn in your 10th house right now. So you are going through major transformation as it relates to your career. You know, huge changes that could be painful. And Uranus, of course, is meeting up with a lot of those planets, and will be meeting up, not yet because he's at 10 degrees retrograde, but he will be meeting up with Pluto, and he will be meeting up with Jupiter, and it will bring in some positive change, expansive change, and that should be happening. Is that going to happen this year? No, it's going to happen next year. It'll happen next year that Jupiter will make a trine by degree to Uranus, and it's going to be a big, powerful change for you. Sudden, but a nice change. So, you know, there's a lot that is changing with your career area right now, your reputation in the world, all of that is changing, but it is changing for the positive, you know. Okay, so those are some things that you can look at, Aries, as far as this particular transit is happening. When we have the sextile, when we have the Sun, the Moon, and the other planets coming into the other fire signs for you. I'm sorry. When we have the other planets coming into the water sign, then that is going to be a sextile energy for you. So we're talking about the 12th house, when the Sun and the Moon and Venus and Mercury go into the sign Pisces. And when they go into the sign of Cancer, your 4th house, these are areas that Uranus will help you with surprising change that will come in. You do have to put in some effort in those areas, so pay attention. That's what this is all about. Pay attention when it is Cancer season, when it is Pisces season. Pay attention. This is a good time for you to put forth some effort. And if you put forth effort, you will be able to use that Uranus, that lightning energy, the brilliance that comes from Uranus. You will be able to use that to your advantage and be able to add to your life and be able to strengthen your life and be able to, as your home area, 4th house, you'll be able to strengthen that. You'll be able to bring in some more, maybe be able to buy some land. Suddenly you find out that there's some land for sale and you're able to buy that. Of course, this is boosting your self-esteem, your self-worth, your home of origin, people in your home, your family. Uranus will bring in some surprising changes. Maybe a baby might be born and added to the family. Beautiful changes, surprising changes could come in during that time. And as we're talking about the Cancer season and then the Pisces season, there could be some spiritual awakenings that happen. Okay, and then Aries, during the Pisces season, when we have the Sun and Mercury and the other planets transiting the sign of Pisces, this could be a time of not only spiritual awakening, but it could be a time where Uranus brings in light that sets you free from phobias, subconscious fears, and things that you were programmed with to fear. brings in new light and understanding that is supported for you to undertake a new spiritual way of being and seeing yourself in the spirit realm, a connection, a new understanding, a portal perhaps opened for you to see how you are connected to spirit and how you are strengthened by spirit. This is something that could happen during the Pisces season. Okay, so Aries, I thank you so much for watching and listening, and I hope that this supports you during this transit of Uranus through the sign